Hi, my name's Ashley. Earlier this week, we asked you guys to send in your questions about uni, the experience, and just about how we found it. We thought we'd add them all in a little part and answer them one by one for you.
Hiya, my name's Laurie and I went to university in Leeds. I graduated a few years ago and I studied primary education.
Hi, my name's Jamie and I went to university in Manchester and really looking forward to answering your questions.
So, moving to a new city, how do I get to know the city and my new home? So, when I moved to Lincoln, I just kind of took myself on a bit of a wander, ended up getting lost, but the people that I lived with were all in the same situation. So, we just went walking about, and because everyone's kind of in the same boat and feeling the same way, you can just do that kind of thing together, and you can just figure out everywhere quite easily that way.
I think making friends on your course immediately is really important as well. So my very first day, the lecturers grouped us into smaller groups, and I think they sneakily did it based on where we lived, whether it was campus, off campus, and they knew all of our details, and they ended up being like my long lasting friends at uni. So I think just jump in on the first day, find a little group. If you gel, fabulous. If not, move on, but at least you've got people immediately. How can I make friends other than societies?
To be honest, when I moved, I kind of thought, I had it in my head like not to force making friends or not to go out looking for friends, because naturally the kind of things that you're interested in or the things you talk about, someone that's interested in the same thing is going to overhear that and you're going to start chatting anyway. So a lot of my friends, to be honest, when I started uni, we didn't start as friends because we were completely different, and then I started to get to know them and chat, and you realise you've got so much in common. I think that's the best way of kind of organically making friends.
So just go around shouting all your convos.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think it's lovely to join societies, that's great, but I think if you are going into cluster flats and accommodation like that, always try and bond with those people, because you'll find you'll make friends and then you'll make friends of their friends, and then you'll just branch out into different groups rather than just be sort of stuck within your society.
I didn't make many friends.
I do think the people that I was trying to like recover.
Kenny.
I think the people that you try to like, because I remember starting, and I sound so sad thinking about it, but like trying to make friends and like almost like forcing it, and I felt like I wasn't really being myself to try to make friends in this new city. And then the moment that you kind of just stopped and you relaxed, because you realise that everyone's in the same situation, so you're just going to naturally come across people, and you're with the same people at uni all the time, living with the same people, you just kind of naturally build relationships.
And to not get too hung up and self-conscious if you're not meeting the right friends like straight away.
Yeah.
How do you cope with being homesick? I didn't really get homesick. I've only been homesick once in my life, and that was in a caravan in Wales, and I just started crying in my sleep. I think I speak to my parents a lot. I speak to them pretty much every day. And I just think having that constant communication was fine, but I suppose it would be difficult if you didn't have that sort of relationship with your family. But if you can try and keep those bonds throughout it, it really doesn't it's not too difficult really, and you've got such short terms anyway. You get home, Christmas, and
like keeping yourself like quite busy anyway, because you move somewhere new, you're starting uni, you've got the work and the socialising anyway. So just like you said, like calling people when you can and just keep them busy. It'll go away after a week too.
It does. I think plan a few home visits in advance as well. I think my problem was it was really easy to get swept up in this whole new world and new people, and I was like dazzled by it, and then you do forget to keep that line of communication. So then it suddenly hits you, oh my god, I do actually miss them, I want to see them. So if you plan a few visits, even if it's like every few months, or if you want it more often, that just do it, so you've got that to look forward to.
Yeah, but like I think in the same breath you can't go back too much. Because I know so many people, they used to go back like every weekend. I think it doesn't give you a chance to like wean yourself away from your parents. You're just kind of going back all the time. So like scheduling it, but but knowing like I need to chill.
You learn to create that balance. Then, don't you?
I think I was quite lucky because my parents were very much like, go do your thing. So
Yeah.
I didn't have
Nice.
because a few of my friends felt guilty if they didn't speak to their parents, whereas I didn't really get that.
How did you budget your finances whilst at uni? So I didn't, and I quickly realised that I should have. I was buying a lot of like unnecessary things and spending so much money on like nights out. But then come towards the end of first year, second year, I just kind of budgeted stuff like my food shop, saying how much I knew I was going to go on nights out. It was going to happen, but set myself a limit on how much I was going to spend per night out. And because I did graphic design, I had to then factor in, did I say factor? Oh, I meant to say factor.
I mean, it sounds very similar.
It
I think you got away with it.
Yeah. Factor in like my material cost. So it's knowing how much you want to spend and how much you want to save, and trying to stick to that weekly, because the moment you start to like lose track, it's so easy when you see like £1,000 come into your account, £2,000 come into your account, to just want to spend it. But you've got to know that you're going to be paying that back, and don't use all your overdraft. It will kill you later.
I actually left uni with enough to go travelling with. I was really good at budgeting.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't have an overdraft, so if you can not do that, because otherwise I just know everyone was dipping into it left, right and centre and having to pay it off. I was lucky enough to have a job from the age of 12, so I've had a lot of savings, which obviously saw me through. But also, if you take out cash for your nights out rather than taking your card with you, then you just stop at that point. And as soon as your money comes in, I know it's like really nice to see that huge lump sum, but I opened a new bank account, sent a load away to that one, and then just worked with what I had. So
that's so sensible.
Yeah, it's what I know I should have done. Like, I clearly remember thinking that's what I'm going to do, because I saved before I went to uni, and I was working through uni.
Yeah.
How did I come out in debt?
I hate spending money though, so I think it's a bit of a personality thing, so you'd have to like unlearn it, because like all my other friends were deep in overdrafts and still paying off now, whereas I just never opened one because I knew I just spent.
But that's people working through uni, because not a lot of people are fortunate to have a lot of support financially through uni, and your student loan sometimes doesn't really cover anything. So I think work will definitely save me.
On the second to last. What's it like living with people you don't know in cluster flats?
That's a tricky one. I think so many people are hesitant before they go to uni because they think living with strangers is going to be the worst thing in the world. Some people are a lot more social than others, some are a little bit shyer, so I think it's different from everyone's perspective. But I think it's just about like putting yourself out there initially, getting to know everyone you can, but also respecting people's boundaries is huge, I think, because I had a few of mine that didn't. Chipping in, everyone just putting in equal amounts of like the housework and things like that. You don't think it's that important, but I think that's what causes major conflict in cluster flats, so keep on top of it.
Because if I'm honest, I think the excitement you have going to uni, you think that you're gonna like move in and you're gonna get on with everyone and it's gonna be amazing, and it might not necessarily go like that. And a lot of people that I know that went to uni, they were beating themselves up a lot because they were comparing their flat to other people's, and like, oh, I don't get on with my house the same, and let's be honest, it might not happen, but there might be like one or two people that you really get on with, and just make the most of that. It's not, your life isn't just at home, it's when you go out, it's when you go to uni, it's the friends that you make in the whole building as one. So I think not to put so much pressure on yourself, focusing on us all getting on like a big happy family, but just caring about you and making sure that you're happy and you're having a good time.
But it is a lovely experience, and it is nice to get to know new people. And I think what's great is that unis and accommodation tend to put people, you'll be with at least one or two other people who are on your course.
Yeah, that's the same.
So you will be friends, you will interact with them. It's not going to be complete strangers with nothing in common. People always match them up very sensibly, I think, which is great. I had someone on my course, Abby, probably shouldn't name her, but we ended up becoming really good friends and then stayed in touch. So I think you do form them lasting bonds with cluster flats. Yeah. I think as well, most people, once you leave first year and you're out of your cluster flat and you've met people on your course, you end up living with completely different people anyway. My house share in second year was full of the friends that like I have now, so you just explore, find your group, don't you? And then, I
think there's just so much pressure on having a good time, but it's like you have a great time. Like uni definitely was so far the best time. But I wish I just didn't put so much pressure on myself about like I need to like everyone in my flat. I need to be really good at like my subject. I need to get the highest grades like when I just started, because all that pressure you put on yourself, it's ridiculous. And it takes away the fun that you're gonna have fun, but putting all that pressure on yourself, it just ruins it because you're just stressed. Don't be stressed.
Just getting dressed.
Okay. What is one piece of advice that you would give to your first year self? Does anyone want to take that one first?
Be selfish.
Oh, okay.
Be selfish. And you go into uni, especially if you're going on your own, you're not with like a group of friends, it's going to be 3 years to kind of get to know who you are, build yourself, have fun. So I think focus on yourself, and there's nothing wrong with being selfish, because at the end of it, it's hopefully going to graduate with a degree and some lifelong friends. So that's what I think is kind of most important, is just your happiness throughout those 3 years.
I really like that. I would say number one, go to more 9 a.m. lectures, because I never went and that was really bad. And then number two, create more of a balance. I think, I know I sound like a loser saying it now, don't go out as much, but I regret doing that, because I think I could have came out with maybe a better degree had I actually paid more attention and put more effort in. So I think just have an amazing social life, but also show up to your lectures, put the work in, and get what you came to do. Exactly.
That's the thing. So I think first year is just a practice year. So if you don't, because I didn't do any of like the practicing how to work side of it, I just did going out. Whereas if I'd done that, then the 2 other years would have been much less stressful. So you can have a much less stressful 3 years rather than like a hectic.
Last year, and the lecturers told you that when you start. Like, they're like, although it might not count, you need to get 40%. You're thinking, all you hear is it doesn't count. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. So you're just going out, and I remember my first deadline, because I was just so excited. I'm scared my parents are going to see this. Because I was so excited about going out. My first deadline, I didn't realise it was a deadline, so I came in with literal pieces of paper thinking they were just going to look at our work, and I failed that so quick. And that was the first time I realised, like, no, this isn't a joke.
This is serious.
This is actually serious. It's not like college where they'll pull you aside and say something. It's on you. So that balance of going out, because I don't regret those nights out, but working equally as hard.
Definitely, but have fun. Just have so much fun. I think one of the best parts of uni is just going to a new city, branching out, meeting new people, just seeing different ways of life, exploring new places, and just leaving that bubble that you were in. As great as it would have seemed, it's just really nice to have that new place and new friends and live this new little life for a while. And it will really set you up for the real world at the end of that as well. I think that's super important.
Did you guys go from a small city, like living wise, and then to a big city for uni?
No, I went from Liverpool to Leeds, so it wasn't that much of a shock.
Different, what was it?
Prestatyn.
The valleys.
Little Wales to big Manchester.
Because I think like a lot of my friends that came from smaller places to big, well, Lincoln's not a big city, but compared to where they lived before, it was meeting so many different people that because the friends that I have now, back home, we wouldn't have known, we wouldn't have been the same group or have the same interests, so we would never have met. So it's really nice that I've got these friends that are completely different to myself, and we get on so well. But that's kind of the joy of uni. It's just a melting pot of people, and you leave there with so many different experiences and change perspectives and views from before uni. Kind of opens your mind a bit.
That's definitely true. Like all my home friends were all extremely similar, whereas all of my uni friends were all completely different, but we're all really close groups still.
Definitely.
My best memory was when I went to get my ears pierced, and sat in my tutorial with blood dripping down my face, and the tutor was like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Piercing."
A very unique experience. Thanks everyone for watching. I really hope we've been helpful and answered some of your questions. Hope you have a great time in September. Uni's going to be amazing. Don't worry, relax, it's great. I'm scared my parents are going to see this. Because I was so excited.